We come together to celebrate you, to be a witness to love so true. Sing with me. We come together to lift you up. Come on now. We come together to celebrate this love. Come on, come on, come on. We come together to celebrate you, to be a witness to love so true. We come together to lift you up. Well, we come together to celebrate this love. We come together to celebrate you, to be a witness to love so true. We come together to lift you up. We come together to celebrate this love. We come in dancing, we come in singing, we come rejoicing on this day. We come together to lift you up, singing. We come together to celebrate this love. Let there be singing. Let there be singing. Let there be joy. Let there be celebration on this day. Let there be singing. Let there be joy. Let there be celebration on this day. We come together one more time. We come together to celebrate you, to be a witness to love so true. We come together to lift you up. We come together to celebrate this love. Woo-hoo!
I am the Reverend Vanessa Rush Southern.
And I am the Reverend Laura Shenham.
And we are seminary graduates.
We are also the parish ministers of this congregation, joined by Reverend Millie Phillips, a graduate of Starr King, who along with Reverend Shannon Fong are affiliated community ministers, and the Reverend Margot Campbell-Gross and the Reverend John Burens and many others are the Legion of Ministers here at First UU Society.
We gather on the unceded lands of the Ramaytush Ohlone people in a congregation that contributes annually to the land tax asked of those people in recognition of our presence on these lands. We stand with you in rewriting a fuller and more inclusive story of who we are and what we owe in accountability to one another. We welcome all of you here today. Graduates, supportive family and friends, faculty and staff, a president worthy of our admiration, and the board of trustees, all of the denominational leaders present here, and people who may have randomly walked in and have no idea what they're present for.
This is the church served by the Reverend Thomas Starr King. You can visit his sarcophagus at the corner of Starr King Way in Franklin after our gathering today. We hope you all have ministries that are as bold and driven by a larger love as his. We hope you all have ministries that last longer than his did, and health that carries you through decades of vibrant and faithful leadership.
Like the river that the philosopher Heraclitus described, one that's never the same twice, we step together into this moment of time, this marking of accomplishment begun in choice, followed by determination and rich experiences of formation, of unfolding clarity and call. Welcome and blessings from all of us here in this community to all of you who are gathered here and remotely in this piece of the river of Starr King's legacies unfolding and our part in it. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Fox. As part of Starr King School for the Ministry's mission and vision to educate spiritual leaders to counter oppression, we acknowledge that the First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco sits on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We recognize and give our respect to the Ramaytush Ohlone ancestors, elders, and descendants. I am attending this evening from my home in Pine Top, Arizona, which is the traditional territory of the White Mountain Apache people. Whether we have traveled to attend commencement in the Bay Area or are watching online, we can all recognize the fact that the unceded land we inhabit was stolen, and we respectfully acknowledge the Indigenous histories that were made here. May our contributions to the Indigenous narratives of the places that we call home be one of sincere respect and genuine curiosity for what came before. May we faithfully work toward a future that is radically inclusive, just, sustainable, and home to countless spaces of sanctuary. May we recognize our place in the cycle of growing love, redemption, and healing for what is broken. Please take a moment to speak aloud or place in the chat the name of the original people on whose land you live so that we may honor them. Thank you.
With the kindling of this flame, we reaffirm our commitment to accept life's gifts with grace and gratitude, and to use them to bless the world with the spirit of love.
In my belief system, this room has us here, and it is also full, completely full of the wise and well spirits of support that are around us all. From wise and beloved ancestors of blood and bone, and also affinity, to other spirits and sacred ones of support, including spirits of this building and land, animate and inanimate. As we light this candle, we create this circle where we step through a very sacred threshold. I invite those supporting wise and well energies to suffuse and fill this space even further with their love and wisdom and support above and below and all around. the warmth and kindness to hold us all. I thank these supportive energies deeply for all the ways they have helped remove what is in the way or just made the path a little easier somehow. And a lot of that is even helping guide us to amazing mentors. May they hold this space throughout this ceremony, and at the end, know that they have helped us step into our next chapters, our ways we will continue to show up and give love to a world that needs it so deeply. Blessings.
For all life, for all the beings and energies that brought us to this moment, for all the combination of water, air, fire, and earth that sustain our life, we are grateful. Let us be together tonight with all our feelings, but especially with gratitude. Gratitude for all the loved ones, human and non-human, who shaped our journey. For all the witnesses to truth and justice, the compassionate acts that inspired and transform us. For all the spiritual tradition and practices that ground us. For all the people who struggled and struggle for our current rights. For all the people whose seen and unseen labor makes it possible for us to be here. For this congregation which is hosting us. For all the generosity of spirit, wisdom, creativity, fierceness, kindness, resilience, courage, ingenuity, and defiance that makes Starr King School for the Ministry exist. Let us ground this time in thankfulness for all the people in our educational community, students and classmates, educators, mentors, and co-learners, spiritual guides, administrators, staff, board members and donors, even accreditors, past, present, and future presidents and leaders. Let us celebrate our work, each other's work, and honor how we learn from each other, how we co-created, how we sang and prayed and laughed and struggled and even fought together and came back to each other with greater humility, wisdom, and love. Let us honor that no one has done this journey alone and never will. Let us celebrate the hard work the students did, that you did, and the hope they embody, as the world needs their gifts, their words, their courage, their revolutions, their compassionate presence, and restorative actions. May we honor the ways we all will keep visibly and invisibly interconnected, and we'll keep breathing together in the greater breathing of the universe, in the deeper mystery of love and life. May it be so.
Well, there's a song in Hamilton called One Last Time. and you're in luck, I'm not going to sing it. But it's hard to believe that 11 years has gone so quickly, that so many things have happened, and that so many changes have occurred in the life of all of us and in the life of the school. I thought I would have all kinds of wise and amazing things to say for this last reflections to you all. But all I can really think about is how much I have loved you, how much I have dedicated myself to working with you and teaching you and arguing with you and struggling with you and laughing with you. There's a lot of laughter at Starr King. We need it because the work we have to do is so intense and so important. And sometimes it is so hard. Laughter is a necessary balm. But mostly I think about how much I have loved you, how much I have loved your dedication, how much I have loved your spirit, how much I have loved your determination, especially you students. I often tell people that this day is the happiest day of my year because I remember you when you came to us, and I see you now as you leave us, and it is glorious. It is glorious to see you, and it's glorious to hear you when you stand up and talk about the call to ministry that brought you to us and how we helped you find your way. What sometimes you may not know is how many times you have helped us find our way. How many times you have reminded us of why we are here as an institution. The fierceness that you bring for justice and liberation is our reminder too. It's our lodestone. It keeps us on the path, even when the path is incredibly complex, even when it is frustrating, even when you wish you had said something else when I asked you to serve on the board. Even then, you all are why we are here. The fierceness of this faculty, the brilliance that you bring, the broad knowledge, and the interconnectedness of the things that you teach inspire those students and me. I read some of the books that are on your syllabi because I've never seen them before, but I need to know them. I know that you have their hearts and their spirits with you. And this staff, some of whom are here and some of whom are not, but they are the beating heart of this institution. In 1,000 different ways, they are at work, even when we are asleep, making sure that the next day you all are ready for whatever comes. So I am filled with love and gratitude because I get to see everything, almost everything. I know there are things the staff is keeping from me. You know I know that, right? But mostly, it is my love and gratitude for all of you that will carry me and carry Bob back to New York, to my church home at Community Church, but to the streets of the city that I have called home for most of my life. But Starr King will never, ever be out of my heart or my thoughts because you have changed me too. Thank you for everything. God bless you. Thank you, President Rosemary. I would like to invite all of you for a little stand up. And if you would like to, in body or spirit, I would love you to come join me in the gray hymnal. For those of you who are new to our faith tradition, we have this thing called a gray hymnal, and it should be right in front of you. And it's number 347. And I really want you to sing this with a lot of life. I'm just letting you know. And I'd also like you to sing it and look at each other as you're singing, because we're gathering together the Spirit. And when you look at me, I don't know that you're thinking about each other. So sing to each other too. And I would just like to tell you that my great friend Lisa is on that amazing piano, and she plays piano better than I sing. So it's going to be amazing. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Okay, turn the page, turn the page. Gather the Spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the soul are laid in stone, nurtured in love and conscious refine, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathies now and then, gathered in hope, compassion and strength, gathered to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit, growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Beloveds, how I miss you. I'm the Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt. It is my privilege to serve as president of your Unitarian Universalist Association, and I'm a proud, long-term member of the Starr King School for the Ministry community. I bring you blessings and greetings and delight and celebration on this sacred day. Commencement in our community has long been more than an ending. It is, in truth, an emergence into a beautiful, meaningful next chapter of life. And for all of you who are graduating on this day, I celebrate with you. I welcome you as colleagues in a new way. And I look forward with gratitude for the goodness and the love that you will shower upon this world. I want to beg your indulgence for a moment because I want to turn to your president, the Reverend Rosemary Bray McNatt, my president, my friend, my co-conspirator for many, many years of good trouble. Rosemary, you came into Starr King School in a particular moment in its history, and you have held its leadership with grace. I want to lift, however, your decades of service to Unitarian Universalism. I remember you once told me that there was almost not a single committee. Does that make sense? There was nary a committee in Unitarian Universalism that you had not served in one way or another at that time. This speaks not only to the extent of your service, but to its breadth, its dedication, and to your faithfulness. I want to celebrate your emergence into a time of retirement, into a new chapter of ministry, because, as you have told me, ministry never leaves us, but into the kind of service, faithful witness, rabble-rousing that I'm sure is coming, that we await with gratitude and profound respect. It is not easy to lead in this faith, nor is it easy to lead in these times. And for all that you have given, I bring my gratitude, my praise, my thanks, and my real love. Congratulations, Madam President, from one to another, for all that you have given us in this community. May your next chapters and all of your next chapters be blessed.
It is my great joy on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Starr King School for the Ministry to recognize the service of the Reverend Rosemary Bray McNatt. Many of us who are here, who have been called into service at the school, to study at the school, to work at the school, and to partner with the school, have said yes, primarily because you asked or because we wished to partner with your leadership. Today, we want to say yes back to you. And today, we would like to confer the title of President Emerita on Rosemary Bray McNatt. And here is the proclamation. Whereas the Reverend Rosemary Bray McNatt has served as president of the Starr King School for the Ministry since July 1, 2014, and is retiring after 11 years in that position. And whereas President Bray McNatt earned her bachelor's degree at Yale University and her Master of Divinity degree at Drew Theological Seminary. And whereas prior to her call to the ministry, President Bray McNatt was a celebrated author, editor, and journalist with many accomplishments, including as editor of the New York Times Book Review, commentator on MSNBC, author of 3 books, and contributing editor of UU World. And whereas President Bray McNatt's service to Unitarian Universalism has included 13 years as senior minister at the Fourth Universalist Society in New York City, service on the Unitarian Universalist Association's Board of Trustees, past service on the Starr King Board of Trustees, including 2 years as board chair, co-founder of the UU Trauma Response Ministry and the Disaster Chaplaincy Services of New York, membership on the panel on theological education and the Committee on Urban Concerns and Ministry, as well as the convener of Occupy Faith New York City and co-convener of Moral Monday New York City. We're about to see some of the list of committees that Rosemary, but not all of them. Whereas President Bray McNatt has served the Starr King School for the Ministry as faculty in the Unitarian Universalist History and Polity, and has previously served as faculty at Union Theological Seminary, Yale Divinity School, and the International Council of UU Leadership Training. And whereas we learn from Octavia Butler that God is change, the Starr King School for the Ministry has indeed changed and developed during the term of President Bray McNatt. More specifically, the school has introduced concentrations in chaplaincy and in Unitarian Universalism, and the certificate in psychedelic justice and companioning, established the Center for Multi-Religious Studies, deepened and sharpened its commitment to education to counter oppression, and after much reflection and discussion, moved from Berkeley to Oakland, California, departed from the Graduate Theological Union, developed the means to become fully online and virtual in its delivery of programs and services to its students, accomplished an improved program to counsel and advise students as they progress, and survived a pandemic that altered higher education. And whereas all that happened, and whereas during President Bray McNatt's term of service, 182 students have received or are now poised to receive the degrees of Master of Divinity and Master of Arts in Social Change. These accomplished professionals have gone out into the world prepared to help transform our society with the knowledge, experience, and agency that Starr King has helped them to gain. And it is to these graduates whom President Bray McNatt may especially look as she recounts her years of devotion and deep care. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Starr King School for the Ministry proudly approves the appointment of the Reverend Rosemary Bray McNatt as President Emerita of the Starr King School for the Ministry. Be it further resolved that this board heartily extends its deepest appreciation and gratitude to the Reverend Bray McNatt for her years of faithful service to the school, to Unitarian Universalism, and to the causes of justice and equity in our society. And be it further resolved that this resolution is spread on the permanent minutes of this board and that copies are given to the Reverend Rosemary Bray McNatt, her husband Robert, and her sons Alan and Daniel, and to appropriate officials of the Starr King School for the Ministry. To sum it up, Rosemary, because you have said yes to the school with your whole heart every single day, 365 days times 11, we say with love and profound respect, a resounding yes to you.
Every commencement is full of farewells. Of course, by routine, we say farewell and send with our blessings our graduates who go forth into the world filled with hopefully some knowledge that they've learned from us, filled with passion and fire, hopefully with renewed vigor, and with amazing talent that they already came to school with. We say farewell to President Rosemary Bray McNatt at the conclusion of her tenure, but we also have one more farewell that we want to honor, the end of the term of service for one of our faculty, and that is the Reverend Dr. Tara Landers. I want to invite you up to the stage, please. You and I have been here almost as long as Rosemary. And we want to offer words of blessing to you. And so I turn it over to our Dean of Faculty, Dr. Gabrielle Latini, to share those words.
It is my honor to continue this moment of celebration by expressing Starr King and also my personal deep gratitude to you, Reverend Dr. Tara Landers. You served Starr King since 2015. You have been our assistant professor of the practice of congregational life and a student advisor. Reverend Tara, you have been a beloved professor, mentor, colleague, and we are sorry that you now decided to leave your position. And we understand that you need to keep a focus on your ministry as pastor at Troop Unitarian Universalist Church in Pasadena. Reverend Tara, we thank you. Thank you for sharing your love for life, community building, congregational ministry, love for ritual, education, UUism, earth justice, animal ministry, community gardening, cute outfits, as well as your displeasure towards all plastic. Thank you for being thoughtful, compassionate, and supportive. Thank you for modeling resilience, generosity, self-love, and good boundaries. You brought graciousness, intellectual acumen, smiles, and goodwill to every space and interaction. You supported our students during the delicate and rich time of their congregational ministries and fieldwork as they embody their learning in their ministry. We wish you and your community well in the times ahead. May you be blessed. May you keep being an agent of transformation, justice, and healing in an area that has suffered so much in the last year. You will be deeply missed and always deeply loved. Thank you.
It is a great honor for me that after 6 years as a Ballard Scholar at Starr King School for the Ministry, I am here again in this gorgeous celebration. Let's pray. I will read from the Bible, Psalms chapter 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days that our may gain a heart of wisdom. God of joy, hope, and love, our hearts lift up this prayer to you with deep gratitude. We thank you for this special and blessed day, the fulfillment of our studies, the joy of arrival, and the gift of your faithfulness. Where we set out on this path, we didn't know how many days and nights we would count, how many questions, struggles, insights, and graces awaited us. But you taught us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. We thank you for the days that it was hard to stand and for the days when we sorrowed. We thank you for the patience you planted in us, for the hope you preserved within us, and for the faith that carried us through. We give thanks for our families, our parents, grandparents, siblings, who supported us, believed in us, and often believed for us when we couldn't. They too were teachers, showing us how to count our days in love and sacrifice. We give thanks for our professors, mentors, and teachers who gave us not only knowledge, but an example of how to teach with heart and wisdom. They shaped our minds and helped us gain heart of wisdom. We are grateful for our fellow students with whom we learn to think together, to hope together, to love together. With them, we discover that life is not just a curriculum, but relationship, community, and presence. We thank you that the opportunity of digital online learning opened the world to us. But today, on this festive day, we feel more than ever how irreplaceable personal presence is. For you created us as being of community, and nothing compares to being together in a gaze, a smile, a touch. This moment of celebration is not just a destination, but a reminder that human communication is what brings forth and sustain through wisdom. Lord, as we reach a new chapter in the book of our lives, we ask you to continue to walk with us. New days are coming and the new counting begins. Teach us again and again to live our days so that we may find wisdom in each one. Grant us courage to face challenges, strength to serve, and the compass to guide our choices. Let not fear or pride cloud our vision. Help us to bring light where there is darkness and hope where there is despair. Keep us in humility that we may use our gift not for ourselves, but for the good of others. Keep us in the spirit of gratitude so that we never forget every day we receive from you is a chance to gain a heart of wisdom. Bless this celebration, bless our community, and shape us into people who not only count their days, but fill them with meaning, love, and hope. This day, too, is your gift. And so we say with all our hearts, teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Amen.
And now for the moment of before and about to be after. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Starr King School for the Ministry and the State of California, and on the recommendation of the faculty, academic dean, and president of Starr King School for the Ministry, I have the honor of conferring on our graduates the following tokens of academic achievement, with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. The certificate in chaplaincy studies, the certificate in psychedelic justice and companioning, the degree of Master of Arts in Social Change, and the degree of Master of Divinity.
Will the faculty please rise and come forward? We'll begin by honoring the accomplishments in the completion of certificates, and when I call each graduate's name, I invite them to rise at their seat. For the certificate in chaplaincy studies, Dr. Yvonne Celia Garrett. Present with us in spirit, Devin McCormick. For the certificate in psychedelic justice and companioning, Dr. Ryan Kean Pendergrass. L. Cardona Yepes. And now will the degree program graduates please rise. On the screen, for the Master of Arts in Social Change, we honor Vanessa Raylene Fox. Jasmine Mayo Pulido. For the Master of Divinity, Ronald Eugene Annen. Dr. Yvonne Celia Garrett. Dana N. Matthews Moore. Dr. Ryan Kean Pendergrass. Kiana Danae Perkins. Rosalie Rydell. Joining us in spirit, we celebrate Zoe, Shira, Natanya, Jaffe, Siegel. I can't believe with all the proofreading, I still got these names in the wrong order for the last two. So it goes to show, no matter how many times you check, there's always a little error. So the next one is Sharon Rose White. L. Cardona Yippies. And one more time, I'm going to invite a big, boisterous round of applause for the Starr King School for the Ministry class of 2025.
Come on, choir. We all live in the same house. First of all, come on up here, choir. If you're in the choir, come on up. How about a round of applause for these incredible humans? Look in your hymnal there, and the words are easy. We all live in the same house. Now, of course, this is what, y'all know this, right? That we can't get along without each other. That's what they know this stuff at Starr King. They know that. So that's what we're singing this. We all live, we all live, we all live in the same house. Come on. We all live, we all live, we all live in the same house. We all live, we all live, we all live in the same house. We all live, we all live, we all, let's have that harmony part, in the same house. We all live, we all live, we all live in the same house. We all live, we all live, we all live in the same house. Come on, come on. We all live, we all live, we all live in the same house. We all live, we all live, we all, let's make some trouble in the same house. Mates, we all live to keep on moving ahead. Come on, do what? Make some good trouble. Don't let anything hold you back. Do that again. Make some good trouble. Keep on moving ahead. Make some good trouble. Don't let anything hold you back. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Keep going. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Don't let anything hold you back. Come on. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Keep going. Good trouble, necessary trouble. We all live. We all live. We all live. We all live in the same house. We all live. We all live. We all live in the same house. Choir. Yeah.
How wonderful it is to be here on this final threshold. It has been a long time coming. I have long been a closeted minister. For the first time, I felt my calling happened when my cat was bringing in dead mice and rats that she had caught, and I felt the calling to create rituals for them. So I'd wrap them in colored cloth, and I'd put them in my red wagon and drag it around my neighborhood with balloons and flowers flowing. And all the neighbors thought there was something wrong with that girl. But I knew that these times there was something beautiful and safe for me there. Since then, I've been a Sunday school teacher, a ministerial assistant, a church board director. I've created and taught cross-cultural women's spirituality classes based on 30 years of work with Indigenous teachers and healers and practitioners of earth-based traditions. Through these ceremonies, I have worked with women who have lost children to SIDS, homicide, suicide, addiction, and miscarriage. And during our gatherings, I was called out by them to take what I knew my skills to higher needs that were not addressed by churches or therapy. There's something else for other people. It was then when I had a near-death experience, I lost my fear of death. I discovered that was far more than the current realms that we live in and that we address with our 5 limited senses. And that was where I saw the first calling for chaplaincy. When my father was dying from pancreatic cancer, I sat with him, and again, I was called because I recognized there was a need to accompany people close to death and for serious illnesses. This led me to Starr King, this wonderful school when it was in partnership with the Chaplaincy Institute, which was a wonderful experience between both of these institutions because Starr King educates to counter oppression, and Chaplaincy Institute embodies the experience of integrated interfaith knowing. And through both, I learned the vital skill of active listening and compassion, loving service. And as a result, I witnessed the power of faith and authentic presence to change fear into grace and resistance into acceptance of the divine in action, no matter how we pray. As someone who embraces the interconnected nature of all things in the sacred web of life, I truly appreciate Starr King's weaving of deep ecology into a curricula, a tapestry grounded in the histories and the works and the sacrifices of pioneers of social justice and equal rights, where we are accountable to our care for the earth and all that lives on it, as much as we would take care of our own children, For indeed, we too will one day be ancestors. And the question is, what kind of ancestor will we be? What will we leave behind? I am proud to graduate from this unique seminary that lifts up marginalized voices, where students learn to be allies and partners, sharing both the work and the glory that we want to live in, one that is seen that is sacred and sustainable. To the intersection of cross-cultural and multi-religious engagement, may we know that while we are often so different in so many ways, in truth, we are very much alike. So I thank you, Starr King faculty and administrative officers, for your dedication to provide a safe and respectful self-learning experience. I am very grateful for your patience and compassion that I received when I had serious health and challenges and financial issues. I truly appreciate your humanity and willingness to work with me to achieve my academic goals. And lastly, I strongly believe that it is never too late to accomplish your dreams, to do what your higher powers have called you to do. As George Harrison once said, it's all in the mind, you know. And Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, she was almost 40 years old before she held her first government position. Frank Lloyd Wright was 67 when his career reached its turning point. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he started KFC. And Julia Child published her first cookbook when she was 50. And even though I'm achieving this master's degree at an age uncommon for most graduates, I hold that it is never too late to stop learning. It's always more about what's in the heart and the soul and your creative powers. It's not about numbers on a calendar. Time is what we make of it. So thank you to my loving friends and family, teachers and healers who have put up with my idiosyncrasies, my overabundant imagination, and my odd hours of study. I am now at the pinnacle of my quest to do what really matters in the world, as an interfaith chaplain advocating for divine invocation and loving reception. I look forward to serving wherever I'm called, and I thank you, Starr King. And I thank you for blessing us, and I'm blessing you and back with my heart and my love. Thank you so much, and thank you for all of you in this mighty experience.
I want to start by inviting my comrades, elders, and ancestors into the space, making it holy and making it a temporary home. And I would be remiss if I did not call the name of Crow Matthew Taylor in this moment. I got to sleep tonight. Although you may not be able to see them, I know that my children, Abijah, Kanane, and Zara and Don, are with me. I can feel both my birth family, my sister Dorian, and my chosen family, Friday House. They're here with me. Adding to the cheers are friends and communities representing my life, my ministry. They're all here. I feel the heartbeat of Black women of the Chalice. And I want to give a special nod to Aisha and my partner, Hunter. I'm thankful for all of the love and care along this journey and all that's to come next, right? This is the moment. I'm thankful for Starr King for their role in shaping me into a better parent, a better scholar, community member, and minister. I want to conclude with some words, adapted words that I wrote back in 2000, maybe 2001, for the Blueberries program. I was fortunate enough to create a culturally competent youth program. Man, these things need pockets. Okay, I was able to create a culturally competent program for youth, and we had 20 kids. 20 kids calling in from Panama to spend 2 hours with other Black UU kids, brown and Black UU kids. I'm proud of that work. And we came up with a phrase during that time to do chalice lightings, and I wanna share it with you now, the adapted version. I have a chalice in my hand, and I have a chalice in my head, and I have a chalice in my heart from Starr King School for the Ministry, and I will take them wherever I go.
This is a private message, but I'll share it publicly. Bingo, Grandma, I did it. Bingo, Sister Erica, Aunt Tracy, Uncle Bryce, and my nephew Tony. I know that you're all watching me in the big bingo hall in heaven, and you are cheering so loud. I can hear you. I did it. Ashe and amen.
Good evening. Inspired by a coming of age credo by a youth member in my Beacon youth group, my email signature includes a quote from Jordan Davis, and it reads, "Do what you love and call it work." And boy, do I work hard. For to love is to do the work of the divine, to love oneself fully and wholly, to love another, maybe your neighbor, as you would yourself, willing and welcoming. To love God with all of your heart is the work of faith, a belief that the unseeable and the unknowable is possible and working in your favor. For instance, when I found that a UU congregation would pay me to do what I would have done as a volunteer, I was amazed. And I love it. You see, love has been a great teacher for me. And the work of love's most excellent teachers have been marriage, motherhood, and ministry. Neither of them come with a great salary, but the payoff is divine. And it makes deposits in the tiny little miracles of daily life. Now, as I speak of marriage, motherhood, and ministry, I'm delighted to acknowledge my beloved O'Neill, my beautiful children, Samara and Devin, my home congregation in Montclair, my Beacon UU community, and the many, many, many mentors, friends, and community members that have supported me in this journey. Thank you. You have all been great teachers too. But marriage has taught me that when love in her fleeting is seemingly gone forever, she will come back again and again and again. Motherhood has expanded my capacity for love and relationships. And ministry continues to reveal the limitless possibilities that exist when love is centered in justice-seeking communities. Just as the love of a relationship can be sustained by letters across time and space, just as the love of our children is not diminished and does not wither with distance, but is enlivened with a phone call, just as the love of life is sustained by service to others near and far, so can the love of mastery learning, midterms, and multi-religiosity be sustained by tiny little Zoom screens and the faces and voices we've come to know, texts and words punctuated by little floating heart emojis, narrative evaluations and affirmations delivered via email in our virtual Starr King learning environments. And though I may not be called to prosperity gospel, every cent of the almost $90,000 degree of this price tag has been worth it because I have gained a community. I have gained the trust of my friends and family.
and so much more. I've gained the sustaining love of community, co-conspirators, and courageous colleagues to do this progressive work with. I didn't join a sorority here at Starr King, but I did find my sisters in Black Women of the Chalice. I didn't receive a scholarship that would cover my full tuition, but many, many, many little ones, thank you. And I didn't get saved in seminary, but I did get eco at Starr King, and that saved my spirit. It steeled my heart for the work of justice and joy, which fuels liberation and love. Love liberates, says Maya Angelou, another author whose words adorn the stationery of my virtual resume. It's a beautiful quote. It's the essence of Dana in word. And if you'd like to read it, please feel free to offer me a paid ministry role in your congregations. I would love to support and love your people because love liberates. Love encourages growth, growth that needs space to stretch like a mighty oak, its limbs reaching only the limits of the sky. You see, when seeds, like seminarians, are sown in the soil, they're planted separately, one by one, but all together. They are nourished collectively by the waters of wisdom that widen their gap. They move and the ground as they grow, rooting deep into the earth, connecting beneath the surface, inspiring one another and sharing resources. Like ideas, they spread, making space for themselves and their formation, each one distinct and deserving. They drift apart to stake their claim in a separate portion of the land. Strengthened by winds of ancestor spirits, by the time they mature, they stand tall and strong, far from where they begin as seedlings, supporting one another's stance. Their broad bodies of knowledge, now wide trunks, able to hold their own, sufficiently sourcing for themselves. And still, despite their inevitable distance, they remain connected at their roots. In this garden of growth, Starr King has been our virtual nursery, providing floods of knowledge, pores of grace, sprinklings of scholarships, and impossibly dry patches of earth that defiantly sprout miracles. Like wildflowers that withstand storms that fell ancient trees. Together, we thrive in the lands of our spiritual ancestors and academic ancestors. And today, we are liberated with and by their works of love. It is in this spirit that I claim my Starr King heritage and join a new virtual lineage and joyfully do the work of love in this world. May you too know love, do what you love, and call it work.
For you, where everything is spirits make a place where everything is good.
When I crossed the threshold at Starr King in my wheelchair 5 years ago, I didn't realize what an amazing spiritual family I had found. I had found a home in a community of dreamers, movers and shakers from every walk of life, as unconditionally loving, imaginative, creative, compassionate, and relentlessly optimistic as I. I took transformative leadership classes to learn how to be regenerative, created a shared group culture, tried it on, and returned home to my breath and body. I took comfort in the spiritual practices that I developed and learned how to metabolize trauma and overcome it. In my eco-intensive and many classes that followed, I, quote, explored how in the midst of a world marked by tragedy, sorrow, and injustice, there remain abiding resources of beauty and grace that nourish resistance, offer healing, and call us to accountability and community building, as Reverend Dr. Gabriella Latini so eloquently put it. I completed my internship with World Beyond War, utilizing all the skills and knowledge that Starr King had given me. In seminary, I cherished every lesson, painted a counter-oppressive mural for Dr. Salm's multi-religious intensive, wrote and illustrated a children's book about Judaism, recorded an original protest song for a spiritual practice class, kept a daily journal and maintained a set log for Tyson's class, rolled for enlightenment with a Hilda Mason Fellowship winner, wrote and delivered sermons, danced at symposium, became a local prayer chaplain, flipped the scripts of the Bible, communicated with my ancestors, spent time in nature with my dog Bo, and experienced joy as an act of collective liberation. The greatest gift of all that I received from all of you at Starr King was the unconditional love of the community. Because of it, because of you, my neurological Lyme disease went into remission for 3 years. For all of this, I am forever grateful. I am now crossing the threshold as a graduate. I have come full circle. I have become the best version of myself, able to lovingly and compassionately hold sacred space for my community as a spiritual leader. I have become the regenerative, strong, loving, well-informed, just, inspiring, and resilient community organizer that I have always dreamed of becoming. Words alone could never express all my gratitude to every one of you for making my spiritual journey so surprising, so transformative, so inspirational, so special. Thank you, President Rosemary, for your loving leadership. I wish I was there to give you a hug in person. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Chris, for your guidance. Thank you, Pastor Jacqueline, for always being there for me. Thank you, Tyson, for being such an amazing role model and inspiration. Thank you, Rain, Matthew Waterman, Owais Qureshi, and the Scholarship Committee for making my journey so warm, welcoming, and more affordable. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Gabriella, for creating the mask degree and for your wisdom and guidance. Thank you to my sister, Robin, for being my cheerleader and keeping me healthy and inspired. Thank you to my amazing cousins, Dorleen and Keith and Annette, my parents, and my adopted family and dear, dear friends. Thank you to my sister, Randy, for giving me clarity. Thank you to my UU, Beit Tikkun, and Change Point families. Thank you, Bo, for being my furry companion and spiritual partner on this amazing journey. Thank you to David, Greta, and everyone at World Beyond War for giving me the education of a lifetime. Thank you, my beloved Starr King family, classmates, and colleagues for everything. May you always be a beacon of hope, light, and love in this world that needs you so greatly. Congratulations, graduating class of 2025.
Hello, friends. My name is Rose Rydell. My pronouns are she, her, and I am so, so grateful to be here with all of you today. In so many ways, I can't believe this moment has come, and I know I'm not alone in that feeling. Your graduates have worked hard and dedicated themselves to their formations for years. But this moment is not ours alone. I know many of us, myself included, would not be here before you today without the steadfastness of our support systems. Spouses and partners, children, siblings, parents, friends, colleagues, family, chosen or of origin. You have been the lighthouse in the storm, the anchor that has held us steady. Friends, colleagues, teachers, and mentors, this moment is yours too. Every late night conversation, every encouraging word, every time you listened or pushed us to think deeper, it all brought us here. You showed up with patience, wisdom, and so much coffee. You celebrated our wins and steadied us when we stumbled. So if we're here today, it's because you held us up. This degree, it's got your fingerprints all over it. Thank you for walking beside us, for believing in us, and for helping us to grow into the people and ministers we're becoming. This is your success too. And in my family, my children, Alex and Quinn and Elwin, my sister Elena, my dearest friends, and more than anyone, my precious husband, Eddie, you have done the hard work. The work of holding us all together to allow me to chase a dream. You have held on tight while simultaneously letting go. I'm so grateful for you. I love you. Thank you. Wow.
Todas las cosas que no podemos ver con los ojos están muy vivos y siempre aquí con nosotros. All of the things that we cannot see with our eyes are very much alive and here with us always. Gracias, Ma Carmen. Me siento tu presencia. And it was with me when I walked into the rooms of the hospital. I called in those things that you cannot see with your eyes. I called in the spirits. I called in the river of grandmothers. I called in the spirit of Ibrahim Baba, and I called in the ancestors that gave me strength to knock on each door and walk into a room and sit with a stranger and hold their hand. The man who's this 360 pounds, 6'8" biker who had a heart attack when he learned that his old lady died. The parents of the 10-year-old boy who were just informed that their son would not be 12 the priest whose leg was amputated, the countless number of people that sat in the ED, not knowing where they were, not knowing how they got there, simply wanting a warm presence and a hand. And I called in the spirits of the living. People like my spiritual advisor and shamanic mentor, Katrina, who walked me through this big, thick, massive river of shit sometimes. People like Teama, who I love and who reminded me that I was loved by so many others. And most especially, Pamela Hancock, who built really, truly the most kick-ass program that prepared me to walk into those rooms and know what to do and feel comfortable in the knowing that I could do that. I feel confident in a way that I've never felt before. I just want to point out real quick, I'm sitting here with 4 generations of my family. My mother is here, my daughter's here, my granddaughter's here. And every single person in my family is sitting in here right now. That's right, baby. This program made me feel strong in a way that I never could feel. It allowed me to walk in and feel comfortable and become my authentic self. It allowed me to feel comfortable in my skin. It allowed me to not feel weird about the gifts I was given. It allowed me to be who I am in my heart. And for that, I shall be eternally grateful. I am not a good, nor am I an easy student. Dr. Reverend Pamela Hancock will attest to that. But she walked me through this, sometimes every day. I love you so much. I love you so, so much, and thank you. I didn't have anything prepared, but before I go, I want to give a shout out to Maddie Waterman, who works so relentlessly hard behind the scenes, who is there for every student who texts him at 3 a.m., who calls him midday on a Saturday. And to all of the instructors and people here, I cannot thank you enough. With that, be well and take excellent care. Thank you.
So I wanted to go to Starr King, starting when I was 20. I was a part of Unitarian Universalist youth. I'm now 50, so it's never too late, and it finally happened. My deal with God, when God was like, no, really, it's time, go, go, was, okay, well, just every time there's something in the way, can you help me figure it out? Because I had no idea how to make this happen and work full time and all of these things. And it worked out. So it was just leaning into faith. I dedicate this degree to all the people who have put their trust in me in chaplaincy. I'm a stranger, and I've accompanied them through some of their deepest loss, some of their hardest choices, and I've accompanied them through the shadow of the valley of death. And it means so much to me. My friend Joe said, why are you here? Why are you here? You could be out listening to music. Why are you here? And I was like, this is the greatest gift, Joe. This is the greatest gift. And I miss him. In terms of other things that helped me make it through the things in the way, I'd really like to thank all of the spiritual mentors that I've had on this path, including amazing professors at Starr King. Thank you for not letting me give doubt the same amount of weight as wisdom, and really like tapping into my own knowing. Thank you for carrying me along, even with some of the bumps in the road. And also, I just want to thank all of the spiritual mentors I have had over the last 10 years, even beyond Starr King. I felt like as I kept on going into my path and really going into where the call was, it was like every time the sort of curtain kind of moved aside and these people showed up and they said, "We see you, come on, let's go." We are a part of the river of caring. We are not the beginning. We are not the end. We are part of the deep and flowing river of caring that has no end, that continues onward, calling each of us to different places in the river of love and support, to help rebuild, to help grow. We plant the seeds and we also figure out what happens to the compost. Greed, hatred, and delusion will never be sustenance. Those of us in the river continue to care for wisdom, love, and kindness, which is a deeper well. So I say the Bodhisattva prayer. This is my modified version. May I be a guard for those who need protection and a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I hold a lamp in the darkness. May I provide a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick. Connect to the vase of plenty, connecting to the tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I support them how I can with sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and sky until all beings are freed from sorrow and we are all awakened. Or as my friend, beloved friend Lisa says, I don't want to be good, I want to be free, and I want to take you all with me. Finally, I will just say that these phrases from the Tao, and then I'll be done. Staying on the Way, a translation by Ursula K. Le Guin. In looking after your life and following the way, gather spirit. Gather spirit early, and so redouble power, and so become invulnerable. Invulnerable, unlimited, you can do what you like with material things, but only if you hold to the mother of things will you do it for long. Have deep roots, a strong trunk, live long by looking long.
Love has made a place where everything is new. Love has made a place where everything is new.
Part of the problem with coming later in this ceremony is I was taking notes while everyone else was speaking. So when Dean Chris reached out to me and said, "Do you have the text for your speech?" I said, "Just know that this is the topic. Just know it will be 2 minutes because I've done this before." Well, it's going to be a little bit longer now, sorry. My name is Yvonne Celia Garrett, doctor, if that's important to you. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a 21st century humanist, atheist, and ethical vegan. I am also a second-generation Unitarian Universalist and an aspirant for UU ministry. Now I'm going to say thank you to a whole bunch of people first, inclusively friends, family, classmates, mentors, particularly family who are here today because this is not my first graduation ceremony, for those who know me. So thank you. I also want to say thank you to every single person who ever got in my way or who built roadblocks for people I care about, for BIPOC folks, for queer folks, for women. And I wrote this fabulously succinct 2 minutes long summation of my path to seminary and so on. But this morning, I got a few clear signals from the universe, which is always uncomfortable as an atheist to have to acknowledge, telling me I needed to say something else. So I'm staying at this fabulous hotel down the street, and my iPhone was playing some music. I thought I set it to play Mozart. Instead, it played Steve Earle's The Revolution Starts Now, followed rapidly with Mavis Staples' version of We Shall Not Be Moved, and This Little Light of Mine. Later, I went for a walk with a friend and my mom in the sun, glorious weather here, just to clear my head, maybe not think about all this stuff that's happening today. And there was a bookstore, and I thought, oh, there's a bookstore, but they didn't open till noon. And as a New Yorker, I thought, well, that's weird. There was a sign in the bookstore. It was a quote. And I said, well, great, universe, now there goes my speech. So here's just a part of that quote. Perhaps resistance means opposition to being invaded, being occupied, assaulted, and destroyed by the system. Perhaps the purpose of resistance is to seek the healing of yourself in order to be able to see clearly. Communities of resistance should be places where people can return to themselves more easily, where the conditions are such that they can heal themselves and recover their wholeness. Now, that's the end of the quote. But I would also say that's a great description of what Starr King is for. It's a place where I returned to myself and where I was reminded just how big my heart is, just how necessary is the love that I can give to the whole world and every person in it every day. And that my anger is not a bad thing, but instead, it is a righteous rage for justice and is very much needed. Because when beloved classmates and friends talk about why they're here, their purpose, I'd like to point out that people like me are here to kick down the doors that are in the way of those people, to smash those walls. But also, my light is a part of a whole, it's a part of a community. And that light, our light, is what will light our way forward. And as Mavis Staples sings better than anybody, let that light shine. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Polito. Years before Starr King, I had a dream that I walked a rainbow and met my future self. She was much older than I am now. She was shrouded in an aura of overwhelming love. Feeling the radiance of it almost made me cry. Like right now. She had the same haircut that I have now, except she wore red glasses. But all of that was blocked out by the light shining, hiding most of her face from my vision. We sat down facing each other and I asked her some questions. Her answers were short, succinct. But the one that stood out most, and I still think about it now, is when I asked her, "What is my true name?" Back then, I didn't feel like I was anywhere close to becoming this person who sat in front of me. There was just so much insecurity, doubt, and healing to do. So much. When I entered Starr King, it was during the pandemic. I felt burnt out and desperate for a space where I could nurture spirit and learn how to lean into my activism sustainably. I expected Starr King to be a crucible of transformation, and it was. After she told me my true name, I looked up the meaning and it meant light or sun. Today, as I'm standing here looking at all of you, I see a path forming towards this future self that I once met. And it was not done in a vacuum. Could not have been done in a vacuum. I thank you all so deeply for the path you have helped illuminate for me in this journey we have had together, faculty and staff and graduates and students, and a little boy born during, and pastors and reverends and doctors and everyone who came before me and who will come after me. Beloved community, alongside of this crucial moment in our collective history. As we move forward from this day, let this moment spark us all into the action that feels aligned with our very being. Because we need the light in each of us, and we need it now. In the dark days ahead, and we know there will be many, let us be the night lights. Thank you.
Listening to my fellow graduates, it occurs to me that the real definition of torture is handing a microphone to a graduating seminarian, soon to be minister, and telling them that they have 2 minutes to talk. The last one is, I'm told they're keeping the food hot. As a young Catholic boy, I felt called to the priesthood in grade school, and I ended up graduating from a seminary high school. But attending the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, my first public school, changed my path. I was introduced to a wider variety of ways of thinking about myself and my place in the world. And so I eventually gave up on the priesthood, and then after a while, even Catholicism really didn't seem to resonate with me personally, but I found a spiritual home in Unitarian Universalism, and I became a college professor, and I was fine. I was fine until 2019, when someone suggested, hey, you should go to General Assembly. For those of you who don't know, General Assembly is our annual meeting of Unitarian Universalists, and I went to Spokane, Washington. And all of a sudden, I was so deeply inspired by the religious leadership there, the panels, the workshops, the lectures. And I thought to myself, these are my people. And then I made the mistake of going by the seminary tables. And that yearning from my youth came back. And I was a bit confused. I thought maybe this was just nostalgia for a childhood dream that I was never able to realize. I thought I'd go home and it would go away. But fortunately, at my church, I had an affiliated minister who sat in church in front of me every week, and I was able to speak with her about my inspiration and my doubts. Her name is Reverend Meg Richardson. And Reverend Meg listened to me week in and week out, talk and talk about it. And then all of a sudden, on one Sunday, in the middle of the conversation, she pulled her glasses down, she looked straight in my eye and said, Ron, answer the call, answer the call. And so 5 years later, I am now graduating from Starr King. I am finishing my internship in Albuquerque, and I am answering the call. I am doing the work of ministering. I am preaching. I am doing pastoral care. I am attending committee meetings. I even lead a monthly theological discussion at a bar called Theology on Tap. Yes, my call includes beer. So as I graduate today, I have to thank my family who is here, Angela, Pepe, Lucas, Sophia, their significant others, those that are on Zoom, my friends, my fellow graduates who are brilliant and wonderful and tenacious and patient with me. I want to thank the UU community at Half Moon Bay who endured my very first sermons. And I especially want to thank Reverend Meg for giving me that gentle yet firm push to answer the call. I want to end with a little note, and that is that ministers are not the only ones who are called. You, whoever you are, wherever you are, you are also called. Called to be kind, called to be generous, called to be forgiving, called to be inclusive, and called to love. We have the precious chance to build a beloved community. So in the words of Reverend Meg, answer the call.
Grace has made a place
When the future preachers and pastors have answered the call and spoken the needful word, and the time for the offering arrives, you know that we are close to completing our time of worship. Now, it would be easy for me, history-minded as I am, to stand here and recount the many ways in which I've come to treasure the Starr King School for the Ministry. Why, my very first mentor in daily meditation and liturgy formation and poetry as a source of spiritual healing, the late Dr. Jacob Trapp, graduated from the school in 1925 and then served this church as its youth minister. I could remember all of the colleagues that I first knew as among the most admirable, authentic, and transformative, who came forth from that meeting house on Holy Hill. I could speak about my deep personal collegial relationship with leaders of the school, with Rebecca Ann Parker, most recently with dear Rosemary. But at the moment, I want to turn our eyes and our hearts forward to the future of the school. Dr. Stephanie Kuzmark will begin as the new president of this institution this summer. And my heart and my prayers are with her. I remember when I became president of the association and was told that the job included begging for a living. The treasurer, and by the way, I've been the treasurer of Starr King. The treasurer came in and told me that the board had loaned out so much money to the congregations for new buildings and expansions that we were darn near broke. Well, friends, in the 120 years of Starr King School, that has been one consistent theme. And this summer is particularly crucial to the future of this beloved institution. In tribute to Rosemary and the many ways that this school has affected my life, twice serving on the board, teaching both in person and online, mentoring interns 40 years ago and even this year, I never ask for money without being ready to make something sacrificial myself. Jessica's going to get a check from me today for $2,500. But it isn't going to stop there. I'm going to try to do twice as much later this year. Look, I really, really want to ask each of you to dig deep. I think there are some cards and envelopes available for this offering. If you don't do it right now, go home and really think about what you can do to keep this place thriving. I'm about to start work on a new book called Ministry Matters: Progressive Religious Leadership and the Soul of America. At this critical moment in our nation, when its soul is so damaged and in danger, if we don't keep our institutions pouring forth progressive religious leadership, shame on us. If we don't be as generous as we possibly can in answering the call that comes to each of us, lay and ordained alike, shame on us. May there be no shame that goes forth from this place today. Only hearts of generosity, future orientation and hope, constant and persistent prayer, and yes, that central value, the love that endures. Your generous offerings will now be gratefully received.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This amazing, amazing, amazing day. This amazing, amazing, amazing day. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. This amazing, amazing, amazing life. This amazing, amazing, amazing life. Thank you for Starr King Spirit. Thank you for Starr King. Thank you for Starr King Spirit. Thank you for Starr King. This amazing, amazing, amazing Starr King. This amazing, amazing, amazing Starr King. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This amazing, amazing, amazing love. This amazing, amazing, amazing love. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This amazing, amazing, amazing day. This amazing, amazing, amazing day.
Hello, everyone. My name is the Reverend Zeb Green, and my pronouns are they, them, and I'm the president of the Starr King Graduate Association. I received my MDiv in 2018 and the Mask in 2022. And I just have to tell you how grateful I am to be a part of this ceremony tonight and to be able to meet our grads at least briefly and to hear your stories. And for feeding my soul and for reminding me the power and the spirit of what Starr King School for the Ministry has to offer, our commitment to counter oppression, our commitment to centering love and justice, our commitment to multi-religiosity. Thank you for filling my spirit. Thank you for bringing me back to that first moment where I crossed the threshold in the threshold ceremony, and for all the thresholds I've crossed since leaving Starr King. And thank you for all the memories of those who've crossed those thresholds with me, my fellow students, those who I've prayed with, those who I talked with, those who I argued with, those who, let's face it, I struggled with, and those who I've grown with. Those who I don't know how I could have faced my call or faced living into my call without their support and their love. I want you to know that as you depart Starr King here today, that you are not departing alone. While you are going into a world that is on fire and a world that needs your ministry, a world that needs your activism, that needs your healing gifts, that needs your chaplaincy and your ministry and your gifts, however you bless the world, it needs you. And this world too will take and needs more than all that you alone can give. It needs us all together. So I hope that you remember those who have crossed thresholds with you and will continue to cross thresholds. And to know that Starr King, even as you graduate, we do not forget you. We do not just say goodbye, that we have our graduate association here to hold and support you too. And to know that we have a community that wants to invest in your success and invest in you and who you are and to help you to continue to nurture and grow your gifts. I hope that you consider joining our graduate association. We meet once a year for an annual meeting at Symposium, and we try to meet throughout the year as well. And just to know, more than anything, that you have a community and we need our community together so we continue to bless this world. Rosemary always taught us that as ministers, we are the ones who go towards the fire. And I just want you to know that you never have to go towards that fire alone. We are here. And I hate using the word fire as a bad thing because you have rekindled that fire and that burning light in my soul tonight. Thank you. Every single one of you is a blessing. And I can't wait to get to know you better in the Graduate Association and wherever our ministries take us. Amen and blessed be.
Beloved, inspiring graduates, beloved Starr King faculty, administrators, community, beloved families, friends who have come here and moved mountains to be here. Thank you for your energy, your love and support for this beautiful seminary and for one another. I offer this last final words for you, written by Jeff Foster from the book, The Way of Rest, Finding the Courage to Hold Everything in Love. This is entitled, Whatever You Dream. Wherever you are in life, to whatever is immediate and alive, falling in love with the here and now is not the same as giving up on the possibility of future change. Quite the opposite. Please do not stop dreaming those beautiful dreams, imagining a future for yourself and the world that makes your heart sing. But in the midst of those dreams, do not forget that which dreams never. The wide open space that holds all of this. Do not lose touch with your true nature, already complete, forever whole, in need of nothing, and profoundly connected to all that is. Do not forget this moment in your pursuit of what's next. It is from this moment, from a place of profound connection and rest, that your life will grow and become new. Being present does not mean deleting or denying the possibility of past and or future. It means remembering your true ground wherever you are, whatever you dream. It is from the canvas of this present moment that all your tomorrows will be painted. You can't paint tomorrows on the canvas, for tomorrow never comes. Only today, only right now, only today. And that is the gorgeous paradox of awakening. Dream, and simultaneously let go of those dreams without contradiction and be here now. For in this dream world, anything is possible. Thank you.
For the last time, may the love that brought us together, that called us into ministry and service, that made a community of faith and a learning laboratory, never leave us, but travel with us in all our days, reminding us of the great world in which we live and the great work that is ours to do. Ashe, blessed be, and amen.
We gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with good. Come on, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Good. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. And we gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too, but here we are, right next to you. So we gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead